Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something, well, deeply unfortunate. A major air crash in Ahmedabad, India. It happened very recently.
Yes, it's a tough one. We're working from excerpts you shared titled Ahmedabad Air Crash, Flight AI171 Disaster.
Exactly. And our goal here is just to quickly clear on the known facts from this material, the timeline, the impact, what we actually understand so far.
Okay.
All right, let's unpack this.
Well, the material, it paints a stark picture. It was Air India Flight AI171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner.
Okay, the Dreamliner.
Yeah. It left Ahmedabad for London. That was Thursday, June 12th, 2025. Took off right on time, 1:38 p.m.
Right on time. But tragically, it didn't get far at all. The source says just 4 minutes.
That's right. Only 4 minutes after takeoff, the plane was only at about 650 feet.
Wow, that low.
And at that point, the pilot sent a mayday call to air traffic control.
4 minutes in. That is incredibly sudden. And then what happened?
Immediately after that call, well, the unimaginable, the plane crashed.
Crashed where?
Directly into the hostel building of the BJ Medical College in Ahmedabad.
Oh, my goodness. Into a building.
Yes. The source describes, immense impact force, huge fires, thick smoke everywhere, the hostel, a canteen nearby, the whole area.
So devastation, not just for the flight, but on the ground, too.
Exactly. That adds just another layer of tragedy to it all.
And the loss of life.
Yeah.
The numbers in these excerpts are just staggering. On the plane.
241 people on board perished, mostly Indian citizens, but also some British and other nationalities, and all 12 crew members.
All the crew? And survivors, was there anyone?
It's almost unbelievable, but the material mentions just one survivor from the plane, a 32-year-old British citizen, Vishwas Kumar Ramesh.
Just one. That's incredible.
But like you said, it wasn't just the plane. The report sadly confirms over 28 students, doctors, and staff in the hostel building also lost their lives.
Awful. And wasn't there a mention of a notable passenger?
Yes, the former Gujarat chief minister, Vijay Rupani, he was reportedly on board traveling to London.
Right, I saw that. So with an event this sudden, this catastrophic, the response must have been immediate.
Absolutely massive. The source highlights India's NDRF, the National Disaster Response Force. They were there instantly.
Right.
Along with the Air Force, Fire Department, police, launching rescue and relief. They had to evacuate the entire area.
And the search for the black box must have started right away.
Critically important, yes. That began amidst all the chaos.
So even with the immediate rescue efforts, the investigation phase started quickly too.
It did. The source confirms a joint team is already on it. That's the DGCA, India's aviation regulator, working with Boeing.
Right, DGCA and Boeing. And are there any initial ideas mentioned about the cause?
Well, the report does mention some early speculation. Possibly a technical malfunction, maybe engine trouble, that sort of thing.
But that's just speculation, right? The source is clear on that.
It's very clear. It emphasizes that while those are ideas floating around, the definitive cause, the real truth. It all hinges on finding and analyzing the black box.
That makes sense. So connecting this back, this is just a devastating event for so many families.
Absolutely.
And it raises huge questions about air safety, doesn't it? Especially with a modern plane like the Dreamliner failing so soon after takeoff.
It really does. And here's where it gets, well, profoundly important, perhaps. The source really underscores this reliance on the black box.
Yeah.
Think about it. Flight data, engine performance, what was said in the cockpit, all those critical pieces are locked away in there. Investigators need that data just to start figuring out what possibly happened in those crucial 4 minutes.
Right. Without it, you're just guessing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So what this all means right now in the immediate aftermath is that understanding exactly what went wrong is the absolute priority to prevent it ever happening again.
Which brings us to a really important question, I think. Given how incredibly fast this all happened, literally minutes after leaving the ground, and the initial uncertainty about the cause. What does this heavy, almost total reliance on the black box tell us about the challenge of figuring out these complex failures in modern aircraft?
That's a key takeaway, isn't it? It highlights the fundamental difficulty. These systems are complex, failures can be incredibly sudden, and it just shows the painstaking, detailed investigation that's required after such a swift, terrible event. It's something to keep in mind as this investigation unfolds.